Hello, I'm David Ruff,
I'm Tiffany.
and we're with Greenhouse Garden Center, and today we're going to be showing you how to go and divide iris here in northern Nevada. Moist soil is always easier to dig than dry, hard soil. The center of the plant is where that was the original parent. We're going to be digging that up plus part of the side so that we end up having the babies or the pups. So we're just making a quick dig here, pulling this up like so, and we can see that right there the two parts that we were going to separate over have come off already by themselves. So we've got the one parent here and then a side sprout which we'll divide on the table, showing you a little closer, and there we have it. We've got a different type of iris here. This is a water type iris, very similar in shape and everything as far as the bearded or German iris that we are going to be showing you also. So this one doesn't have the soil as much, it's got a bunch of muck, but we're going to pull this out and we're going to then separate it out and show you a little bit more about how to open the plant up so that we get more flowers. Now you can see the fruit here is where the flowers were developing this spring, and the center of the plant doesn't have any. So all the fruit is on the outer rim of the plant, which tells us that that is the point where it's all been blooming.
The youngest part of the plant is around the edges, furthest from the center. These young portions are known as pups. Here we're removing the pups from the rest of the plant. These pups are what we're going to be dividing and then planting later on. Now we're left with the center of the plant. The center here isn't going to bloom as readily as the pups, so it will be discarded.
So we've got these without any roots that broke off, so those are just going to go back to the trash. Any of these with a root like this are going to be what's viable for us and be able to be used. This is part of the water iris that I pulled out, and you can end up seeing that we've got a number of nodes or bumps going on back like this. This is an indication of how old the plant is. So this year the plant grew from this fatter area right here and grew out, and then the leaves became this section. So this is 1 year's worth of growth. Then we look back, and this fatter section here with this growth like that, that grew last year, and then the year before we had that amount of growth there on the plant. And as you see here, the leaves are on this year's growth and last year's growth, but not on year three's growth. Okay, so you're always counting back, and you want to get rid of year three, so you can cut it or break it off. And by doing so, here we have 1 year here and 1 year there. So last year has all the roots to it, so we're going to end up saving a good portion of that. And then we come over to this one, and we can see how the plant went and was very happy and divided multiple times, and a lot of the root goes to all three of these. And so instead of trying to go and get all of them to end up rooting out, what I'm going to do is just come in with my pruners, and we're going to take this one off right here, cut it a little, and so we're going to give part of the root system to one half of the plant and the other part of the root system to the other part of the plant. And so we've got roots there and we have roots here, so this is going to go and allow the plant to root in quicker. And then this was the parent portion. And you can see where the babies had been attached here and on the other side. And this is where we broke off when we dug it up. You're probably going to have a lot worse effort to get this broken apart, more like what I was doing with the water iris there. So I want you to be prepared, but it's well worth it. By dividing your iris, you're going to make sure that they bloom well for the next 3 years, and then you have to go back in and do it again. All right, so we've pulled the iris apart. We're going to peel off the old spent leaves, get rid of those, and then we're going to look at the root that was there. Now, this is not a very good conductive root back to the parent, so you can see that it kind of had rotted away. We're just going to go in, clip that off so we've got that nice white crisp look to it, and then we're going to let this dry overnight, and help by doing that. That's going to help with disease prevention. You can also go and you can usually do a dusting if you want with a fungicide, Captan, or maybe a sulfur if you want to do some more disease control. People are often using like a bone meal. Here in Nevada we use fish bone whenever possible, because it's got some nitrogen in there, which our soils are definitely lacking. Or else we've got a bulb food. This is 464, again nitrogen, but higher in phosphorus, which helps with rooting and flower development. So we're taking the foliage off to reduce the stress on the root system, allow that to regenerate, and then it's going to grow a new top come spring. Usually you want to go and you take your hand and you do at least one hand up on the bearded iris, and then you're going to add just a couple more fingers worth of height to that. So right there, and I'm going to do about the same with these. So we're just going to go in and do one big cut, a second cut, and then we've got it done. We're just going to remove a few more of these spent leaves here. And now you are ready to go, and you can either plant it back into the soil tomorrow there, and once it's dried out, or back into the stream. And it's always good to give the plant a chance to dry and scab over. This is going to go and help with disease and insect prevention and reduction of problems there.
How long does it take to scab over?
Usually it'll take 1 to 2 days. So, you know, the drier it is like we are here, the faster it's going to scab.
Okay.
All right. So, I want to say thank you for your assistance,
You're welcome.
and thank you for watching.